I once was a Democrat. I ain't gonna lie. That was a struggle to get out. It's almost like looking at your middle school and elementary pictures when you did your own hair or something like that, or you wore your own clothes. You thought you was so cool until you hit the future and get the That's what it felt like to say I used to be a Democrat. Luckily, though, I was able to make it off of that plantation. I really thought because of my skin color that I'm supposed to vote Democrat, regardless of whatever the person in front of, behind that Democratic label believes. And just because I'm black, right? It was almost like against your religion to vote against being a Democrat if you were black. Little did I know, the Democratic Party was actually the people who wanted to keep slavery. How I ended up learning about that, though, all started with an Uber ride. Literally, this Uber ride, y'all. This Uber ride was life-changing. This Uber ride has literally got me to the point that I'm at now in my journey of trying to understand the world that's happening around me. Coming home from Chicago, actually. I'm coming back to Atlanta. And get this Uber ride. This black woman, she picks me up, greeted me. Everything is fine. The radio is going, yada, yada. And the radio host, it was a topic about Trump, and it was briefly speaking on it. After they ended up after the talk of Trump on the radio was over, the woman who was driving she didn't look back, but she asked, "Hey, what are your thoughts about Trump? How do you feel about Trump?" It was like immediate. The response was like, when I say instant, it was, "Oh, he's a racist. He's this, that, and the third. He don't care about black people," and none of that. And then she goes, "Oh, so you think he's racist?" I'm like, "Yeah, you don't?" Basically, that was kind of, what I was implying by when I say, yeah. She pretty much go, "Okay, well, can you provide some proof? Can you give me one thing that he said or one thing that he did that was racist? Like, or can you source like a video up real quick?" And I'm back there like, what? This is how a leftist liberal, the leftist liberal in me responded. I just went, "Oh, well, think about it. He don't like black people. He don't care about you. He don't care about me. He don't care about Muslims. He don't care about Latino. He don't care about nobody but himself." And I'm probably ranting about that for about 2-3 minutes straight. Seriously, a very emotional rant. Wow, how emasculating it is now to look back at that. Anyhow, I'm just ranting. And right at the end of it, she calmly goes, she just killed my whole shit. She goes, "But you didn't answer the question. I asked you, can you provide one statement or one thing that he did, or maybe source a link to something with visual proof to prove your claim on why he's racist?" And not only did she say that, when she said that, I'm just kind of stuck. I'm not really knowing what to say. I'm literally on mute, but I'm fuming. Like, I'm pissed off at this woman. Not to no, physical sort of like I'm genuinely like, how come she don't believe this? That's kind of like my mom. Like, how come she don't believe this? Like, what? This black woman automatically, she a Trump supporter, and like in my mind, I ain't saying this out loud. There she goes. You can't just call somebody racist if you can't prove it. That's like me calling you anything. I don't want to use the word that she used because it ticked me off even more. But she had a point. She wasn't doing it maliciously. She's like, "What if I just called you a XYZ and just walked with no proof?" And I'm just kind of in the car like, dang, she low key, she right. But forget all that she right stuff. Trump racist. I'm blinded with rage. Pure Trump derangement syndrome before it even had a name to the sickness. Anyhow, she's kind of ranting on, and not ranting, but legitimately talking about how, hey man, you got to start educating yourself. Specifically, I remember her saying, "Stop looking at CNN clips." We'll get back to why that's important in a minute. She was like, "Stop looking at CNN clips and just listening to their talking points. You actually have to start doing research yourself." She was even disagreeing with the radio host, like, this whole radio thing. And radio host lady, they ain't doing nothing but dividing us even more. Can't you see that? And in my mind, I'm like, what? They bringing us together. They bringing awareness to it. Black lives matter. Like this was literally my mindset. Thank God my mom raised me right, and I'm still a gentleman. I wasn't like dismissive or nonchalant, but I was enraged. Finally, we made it to my destination, and Once I got there, you know, said goodbye. And I remember thinking in my head, like, man, that Uncle Tom girl, the hell wrong with this motherfucker? Like, shit, man, she ain't no nigga, she ain't no real nigga. She ain't even black. She don't even like to be black. I was doing all of that. Everything I see in my comments, which is probably why I don't really get bothered by it, because I remember what it was like to have an unconscious hatred towards Trump supporters because of, you know, what I've been told, because I'm a Democrat and I'm black. Anyhow, I get in the house and I remember being so mad, so pissed off that I'm looking at CNN clips. I'm looking at CNN clips and I'm going, yeah. And I remember just going to look up some things like one of the things that I kind of left out was when we was in the Uber, she mentioned that Trump was doing some great things for black people. We just don't want to acknowledge it. It was a whole lot that was kind of said that I ain't gonna remember all at once, but yeah, I remember her saying that. So when I came home, CNN was one of the first places that, you know, I started looking up, and it just kind of fed my ego. It was kind of giving me more ammo up until I started looking at the full clips of the videos that they were only giving me clips of. And that's when I was able to see, oh, wow, these motherfuckers are lying. My common sense won't allow me to believe this BS that y'all out here spewing. Dead serious. You know how embarrassing it is to say that to realize that you were an emotional zombie being influenced on how other people want you to feel? Me making this video is all derived from me tweeting out about my Trump experience. Shout out to all of y'all who wanted me to do this. Yeah, we here. But anyhow, as I'm doing my research, I'm learning about the First Step Back. You know, I'm learning about opportunity zones. I'm learning about his stance on abortion and things about things of that nature. And I'm just kind of sitting back. And I'm also, at the time, I still was uneducated about the whole border situation. I was more of a socialist in my mind. Said, oh man, they need to come. So I'm still indifferent about that at the time. But boy, as that age, that didn't age well in terms of that belief. And started watching more material, and then I started seeing things in real time. I would watch him on TV live, hearing him say everything all the way through. And then right after, I would watch how MSNBS, ABCs, you know, MSNs, I would watch how they would clip up something and take something completely out of context. And that's when all hell broke loose for me as a Democrat, because that's when it was like, you know what, I just can't do this anymore. And then the Democrats just became even more and more radical in their approaches with education, trying to introduce more sexual natured material to children, the mutilation of our babies and their bodies by being able to literally chop up body parts just because they feel as a child that they are something other than who they were born. I just can't agree with that, right? Fast forward, then I started doing my YouTube journey and reacting to videos and just kind of discovering more. And that's really what most of my knowledge on Trump began to develop, because you guys were putting me on to so much information and I was able to dissect so much of it. Y'all seen me where I was able to watch clips. I was reading materials and, you know, putting two and two together, not just going by what a news host says, even Fox in some cases, you know. But for real, one of the things that one of my followers on Twitter, well, X now, formerly Twitter, make sure y'all can follow me at Kingdom Reacts, wanted me to repeat was something that I wrote in the paragraph talking about this whole experience from me changing from a Democrat. I said, I became a supporter after a few months of trying so hard to keep my culture card, only to find out that shit had insufficient funds. And she wanted me to elaborate on what I meant by that. So as a black man supporting Trump, you know, 2018, 2019, yeah. Even then, I wasn't a full-fledged, like, you know, I was trying so hard to suppress it. It really wasn't until like 2021, 2022 where I came you know, to the public about it. But yeah, long story short, I thought that the black community was gonna just dismiss me, and if you're a Trump supporter, you're somebody who's no longer a Democrat, thought I was just gonna get pushed to the side, and I did. And I definitely did. Y'all thought it was going to be no, but it was embracing. No, definitely wasn't. And that was part of the reason why I was afraid. And when I say culture card, that's really what I mean, being accepted by my people. And what I mean by insufficient funds was on it is I realized that to them, in order for me to have credit in the Black community, I have to think a certain type of way. That's what I realized. And I realized, oh, wow, I can't afford that. And so insufficient funds for your boy. I can't afford to do that. That ain't happening in my life. And how I officially kind of came out as a Trump supporter really started with YouTube videos. The more I would post, the more, certain friends would watch and inquire, hey, man, you really believe that stuff you saying? I'm going, yeah, why would I post it if I don't believe it? Oh, man, this, that, and the third. I've definitely lost friends for sure. I remember one of my friends used to come over all the time. I'm not naming no names, but come over all the time, help me with the music. Somewhat of a mentor almost, big bro, little bro type relationship, me being, little bro. And we was kicking it. I wouldn't say super heavy, but we was homies, you know what I'm saying? We kicking it now and again. And I remember he came to a fight party that I was having. I believe Tank Davis was fighting. Yeah, Tank Davis. And we as the fight was going on, I remember telling him, yeah, man, he asked me about my YouTube, and he was like, you really think Trump is this and that? And I'm going, yeah, man, I really support Trump. And he was like, why? And I'm giving him the reasons why. And he's like, what has he done for Black people? I'm kind of going down the list of that and just a few things that I knew at that time. And he started bringing up, oh, well, what about the Central Park 5? And what about this, that, and the third? And I'm giving him my thoughts on all these things. And we having what I think is seemingly a civil conversation. But after that conversation, he actually went on, which is okay. I'm not saying that he's not entitled to do this, but he actually went on to create anti-Trump content, which is okay. Seriously, I respect it. I respect the fact that we can have differences of opinion. I may not respect how it derived, but there's that. I'm not going to hate you because you don't believe what I believe in. But yeah, he actually went on to do that. And since then, just no communication. Tried to reach out a few different times, no responses. Then we have, another friend whom we didn't know each other for too long, but, we had about a 6-year bond and a 6-year friendship that turned into a real brotherhood bond. And long story short, after I became a Trump supporter, he kind of stuck around for a little while, but then just replying to my text messages. I used to spend, me and my wife used to spend the night at his house, him and his wife, his girl house, well, now wife, and they used to embrace us and vice versa. They'd come through. Like, we was really cool. Long story short, I came out as a Trump supporter. Mind you, I made it to the engagement party, but didn't get invited to the wedding. And yeah, that low-key hurt my feelings. I'm not gonna lie to you, because that was my partner, And I usually pride myself on not feeling left out, but that was a moment where I was like, damn, man, all because I'm a Trump supporter, man, that's messed up. As far as my mom goes, she don't care. As far as my family go, my brothers and sisters, they don't really care. And in fact, they've been very open and embracing, listening to a lot of the things that I've been learning about Trump since I've been on this journey. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it, y'all. That's just how I became a Trump supporter today. And it all started because of that Uber ride. I have to admit, whoever that woman is, if I seen her face, I will know who she is. I promise you. I don't know her name, none of that. Maybe, can you go like in a, nah, I don't know where to start, but that woman has definitely changed my life. And since then, I've been all type of coons, Uncle Toms. I'm met with hatred every single day. It's almost to the point where I'm used to it. It's normalized. I've learned the truth about the Democratic Party, that it was really ran by the KKK. People who didn't want to get rid of slavery. And then you learn about the Republican Party, and you learn that why they were created and how freed slaves were involved and how Black people were directly behind it and how it's evolved into what it is today. Like, you start learning these different things. And I remember at one point voting Republican as a Black person was always seen as a crime. Now it's almost like, how can you not, given the current administration? I will say this though, whether Democrat or Republican, independent, I believe that you should always follow somebody who has your best interests at heart, whose policies are met with your best interests, and somebody whom I think Killer Mike said it best: pick your policy, not your person. That's probably the best way to sum that up right there. But will I ever return to being a Democrat? No, impossible, can't happen. That hurts saying. God dang. Y'all be safe. Oh. And thank each and every last one of y'all for y'all contributions to make this video happen. Y'all don't know I was demonetized on YouTube because of my support of Trump. Yes, they demonetized me for 7 months. 9 months, because I was demonetized the month prior to getting demonetized for 7 months. Yeah. And because of that, it was a long journey, man. I deleted so many Trump videos, and the first time I ended up reapplying to get monetized, I didn't delete any Trump videos. And the second time I deleted like 90% of them, and that's when I got monetized. So yeah, they also took my revenue that I made that month, took all of it, refunded it to the advertisers. So I want to say thank all of you for your support, off all of the donations, all of the contributions, helping me keep these lights on, quite literally. And I can't be more grateful for all of the Trump supporters who's helped me literally maintain my space since I've been demonetized. And so yeah, to everybody who donated, thank you. If you want to figure out how to contribute, if it's on your heart, definitely look at the description. Other than that, man, just share the video. Hopefully this video can help somebody. I was lost one day too, man. I'm glad I'm found, and I'm glad you found this video. Yes, sir. I'm out this thing on my way to piss off a Democrat.